Hey guys, Skimboy3800 here, once again back in Beam. We're taking a look at the updates to the adjustable add-ons pack. This will be one of the last update videos I do for it. In fact, this might be the last update video for it, because everything's done, pretty much. Everything's working. We take a look here at the diesel V8. We see that the textures are all fixed. This is all thanks to Mike Bev. I did get a weird bug where when I loaded this up on this computer and not the laptop that I work on this on, the air filter was like black, and then I cleared cache and then it was white. The fix for that is just to load up a 200VX with the turbo, because that's what that turbo filter is from. So if you have that cached, it should work. I don't know why it's not working on this computer, but all other computers I have. But if you experience off-color filter, just load a 200VX beforehand. And move the exhaust location so it's no longer in the cab. And I also have it so that the exhaust moves back slightly, so it shouldn't be a driver killing experience anymore. So the diesel V8, like the standard one here, I'm pretty sure is done. It handles really nicely. It's comparable in horsepower to a regular Merlin, and it gets a lot more torque. Still gets the diesel parts like the fuel tank and the radiator and the 3-speed gearbox, so you do kind of need to learn how to drive it to get the most out of its torque, because it definitely has a lot of it. Like almost 1900 foot-pounds from standard. It's a lot. I think more than 1900 actually. Closer to 2000. Rip. And now if we go over here to the parts menu, we can see in the engines that twin turbochargers is also now a thing. And if we get a look here, here we see, yep, twin turbos are now fully working. They don't have a weird effect that make us like see through it. That was a big problem on the laptop. And they are properly textured now. Twin turbos are smaller, so they spool up way quicker. And when you're off power, they do a nice little pew at the end, or whatever turbos make. Listen to that. That's awesome. Twin turbos give a little bit more power, but less boost hold ability. Like they can't hold the boost for as long. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, but you do get more peak torque and power. Just takes a little bit to get to there and stay there. It's a different way of driving for sure. I wouldn't call it the ideal way of driving the V8. I like the single turbo for the V8 best. But I give the twin turbos as an option. Next up, we need to go to another engine, so we will put in the fuel tank. You can see I've renamed it slightly. I think since last time it's now 500 cubic inch Gavril V8 diesel, so you don't confuse it with like the inline 6 Gavril semi-engine. After this, we're going to go to the Blaze Insane Durability engine, because I have added the single turbo to this engine. This is the only engine that you can like fully remove the supercharger on, because it gets like the naturally aspirated intake, and that's the only way you could do it. But now, instead of an insanely fake turbocharger, we get an insanely real turbocharger. And what that means is that the engine model does in fact change to have the turbo on top of the Ford Performance engine. It's a little bit cursed, mainly because the exhausts are stuck as, Headman's? And I asked Blaze, and he said he's probably going to redo that whole thing, the whole insane engine. No. Need to reset this tune since it carried over the 5,000 RPM from last tune. And if you didn't know, the insanely real turbocharger makes this a 30,000 horsepower truck, or something stupid like that. It'll never spool down because it's got no friction. And if you let it build boost for long enough, it will get to 500 psi. Let's see what 400 to 500 psi. Oh, I guess we're only going to do 300. 300 psi launch looks like 200 it was. And we just wheelie. Yeah, if we go for like a proper speed tune, then we'll have the full boost pressure. I also didn't tune the power or RPM turbines of the turbo, so let's do that. It's a stupid thing. I just wanted to see how the turbocharger model looked on the regular engine, and this is the only engine that allows me to do that right now. So there we go. There's our 300 psi launch. And again, without a full speed tune, you will never take advantage of even a tenth of that. So it's just something stupid. Moving on to something less stupid, we go to just the regular Merlin engine. Finally back to normality, right? Haha, wrong. If we take a look at it, that is in fact the regular Merlin engine. But it won't be for long. If we go to the header options and scroll down a little bit, we get twin turbochargers as an option in the exhausts. And if you take a look, they are there. Probably a little bit of clipping involved, but that's the cost we have to take. With twin turbos and a supercharger, we are super double twin charged. And from standard, we just over torque like immediately. No. I know what's happened. It's carried over the maximum RPM from the Blaze Insane Turbo. So let's fix that. We'll also add the torque curve app, so you can see we are actually getting a performance increase. I mean, you'd think, of course, yeah, duh, but it's not always that simple. You can see here, with the bars on the top left, we have two things to specify. We have one to the right where SC is supercharged, and then we have one on the left which is turbo plus SC, turbo and supercharger. They work in tandem to give you an extra 700 horsepower and an extra, what is that, 900 foot-pounds of torque? Something dumb like that. The PSI meter doesn't really know what to do in the bottom right. But here, you get the best of both worlds. You get insane torque down low from the turbos, because turbos add more torque than anything else. And you get to keep the really high wheel speed that a supercharger gives you. It's a no downsides upgrade, and it can go onto any Merlin engine. It does look a little bit cursed. I think I do need to edit the exhaust so that it spews out more smoke, but it's not a diesel, so it won't spew out as much smoke as the twin turbo on the diesel V8. But it should have something. Right now it looks like it's got nothing. So that'll be a change I do before release. And if I can fix the weird texture thing where if you don't load up a 200X beforehand, it's not cached and doesn't look right. I guess to be fair, I had never driven a 200BX, like, full stop for like 2 years. Like, you'd think the vehicle would be like a crush car and it would always be loaded, but no. Like, nobody uses it as a crush car. It's too new. Oh well. That's just me rambling. I want to see if we can, like, if I add another PSI forced induction thing in the bottom right, will that make it so one shows supercharger, one shows turbo? That would be cool. Can't add another forced induction. Come on, game. Not like I can even change what this app does here. Oh well. Looks like we'll never have the dream of having two boost gauges, one for supercharger, one for turbo. Because all that right there is showing as the supercharger. That's the regular supercharger. I guess it would get priority since it's loaded first, no matter what. But oh well. We're not done. You saw before, we do get the turbo tuning here. Turbocharger force induction turbines. But if we scroll down, you can see we do in fact still get the regular supercharger tuning. So you can tune both independently to get a truck to feel how you like. And we can go pretty stupid here. I don't know what'll happen if I add like the twin screw or the twisted lobes blower. Let's go just complete insanity. Twin screws add horsepower but take away torque, but we still have the twin turbos which add torque. And we will just see what happens if we max out this engine completely. I am expecting some stupid numbers to be on the top left. Oh my! 4,500 horsepower. Or no, that's 4,500 foot-pounds of torque. 5,600 horsepower, almost 5,700 horsepower. And you can see here, on the right side of the graph there, the supercharger default would be 1,900 foot-pounds and 2,500 horsepower. We are getting so much extra from those twin turbos. I'm probably going to nerf that so that it doesn't just instantly blow up the engine. I'll probably nerf it so it won't just do that. It's a stupid experiment. This whole thing really is. I wonder, what if I take away all the supercharger pressure and make it turbo-based? I'm experimenting along with this. I haven't done this yet. So now you can see the graph. We get a lot of torque down low, and then it drops off. But then we still get a lot of horsepower up top. So we get the best of both worlds. We still get over torque risk, but now we don't just instantly explode. Still got stupid levels of performance. Because you get no lag, and as soon as the turbos are spooled up, no, we do die eventually. As soon as the turbos are spooled up, the power just rolls in. I'm going to have to find what an acceptable level of power is, so I guess I'll just do that here. Oh, right. Now you can't use a numpad in the parts menu here. Let's try that as a new maximum. $3,100 foot-pounds of torque. What do we get for... we're not killing the engine now. But I think this will be what I had to do. We do get a pretty steep power drop-off at the end though. That's only because I pushed the engine to 9,000 RPM, where it's least efficient. So in that instance, I think lowering the RPM would actually increase horsepower. What are we at now? 3,074 horsepower and a 3,168 torque. If I go to tuning and set us down to like 7,900, we might see an increase here. 33 and 33, so even torque, even horsepower. We stay in the power band all the time here. And now we get the over torque risk. So if you wanted to stay like as 8,000 RPM tune, what do we? This is turning into engine tuning video 2.0. I don't want it to be 10 years long, so I'll have to continue playing around with this off screen or off recording, whatever. Yeah, this is a really fun thing to just keep messing around with. I really could go on for hours. I love the engine tuning process. But let me know what you think. A lot more options coming in this next pack. Some of them are even drivable. I'll make sure the engine doesn't explode. I'll probably change how the twin turbochargers behave. Probably could experiment to see with like the Ford engine, because that can get the fake turbo. What happens if we have 3 turbochargers? I don't know, that's just stupid. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do go ahead and leave a like, favorite, comment, share, and of course don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks, Game Boy out. We'll see you all in the future. Couldn't save it. Goodbye, everybody.